Welcome, my beautiful Libras, my most talented sign of all the signs. I feel like you are the most artistic. I know other signs are going to argue with that, but I do a lot of readings. I do a lot of personal readings. I have a lot of artistic Libras in my life. So I feel like if you're not expressing your art, you may not feel so happy. It's interesting. I don't know why I picked all that up before I started your reading. Well, actually, as I was pre-shuffling your decks, I was picking all that up. So Libra, you are the last sign for the month of May that I'm doing. I'm telling you this because I feel like the last sign is the best reading of all the readings. It's usually the way it goes. So let's hope it continues. Um, we're going to use a few different decks. We're going to allow Mother Mary to have the honor of opening up our reading. We are going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. See if you can do that without spilling coffee on it. For your main spread, we're going to use the Guardian Angel Messages Tarot, the newest deck, to the family. I used it for every sign for the month of May. Usually I always change the decks up when I'm doing the monthlies. But something told me, let's really break in this deck. And I'm glad I did it. I love the way that it reads. So I hope you do too. Um, we will use our major arcanas for our bullet points. Anyone who's new, um, I use these just to give us like a little idea of what the reading's going to be about. Um, but many times they tell their own beautiful little story and then still relate to the main spread. So that's why I keep them in every reading now. And I did ask you guys, and I would say 80% of you are like, yes, we love them. So we're going to keep them in. Um, and yeah, that's it. So this is going to be for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, those intuitively guided. As many of you know, I do read through my spirit guides, who I know connect to your guides. That's why I trust that once I release the reading, I know it's gonna land in the right people's lap. Um, you could certainly be in love with the Libra. I have Libra love in my life. Could be platonically, romantically. Let me tell you about some of my Libra love. My nephew Sean, who his birthday is September 24th. He's right in that cusp of Virgo and Libra. But he does not want to be called a Virgo. It's interesting because my boyfriend's on the other side. He's a Virgo, but he's on the 23rd, so he's on the cusp of Leo and Virgo, and he wants to be a Leo. And Sean wants to be a Libra. Like, nobody wants to be a Virgo. I'm a Virgo. I don't know. But, anyways, talent off the chart with Sean. Um, my beautiful granddaughter, Lily, who I have shared her music with you guys. She has a voice of an angel, but she can play. You put a musical instrument in front of her, she's going to pick it up, she's going to learn it, and she's going to master it. That's how talented she really is. I'd love to see her go on The Voice. I think she'd do very well. Or American Idol, something like that. Um, so she is October 14th. My beautiful sister Tracy, who is Sean's mom, she has crossed over. Her birthday was October 15th. I feel like she's always in our readings. I felt that like she passed over in 2015, but I felt it immediately in our readings. So just know that you have one extra special guide helping you today, along with your own guides. Okay, let's go ahead and open up your reading. Please don't mind my coffee. I really was working hard to make sure I had all the signs done. Um, by the time that May opened. And somehow, I did it. I don't even know how. Well, I've been working very hard. All right. All right, Libra. Actually, I just want to take a moment, just relax my energy, do a little bit of deep breathing. This is how I just really get in tune with my intuition. And I am ready. One more drink of coffee. I'm actually going to leave it on the table. All right. Libra, my beautiful Libra. So funny, it's reminding me of a song that my dad and I used to sing together. He used to sing it to me, but then when I learned it, we sang it together. Oh God. Dun 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 dun. When the dun 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 falls. Oh, I can't think of it. Isn't that weird? You know why? Because I empty my mind and I want my intuition to be the ruler. So when I go to think of something, it's like so much harder to bring it to the forefront. All right. Anyways, hello, Joy. Hello, Joy. By enjoying this moment, I'm giving thanks to God for my life. Joy. And then Faith, my other granddaughter's name, who's a Capricorn. Faith. I have faith in God to heal this situation. Well, clearly something happens because putting you in the energy of joy, and that's what I'm feeling like you're entering into this energy of joy. So I have a feeling something has reached you. Something is, it feels like something has helped clear a path for you. Okay. We'll see where this path is taking you, but like I have a vision of you um like on this new path, but like just gleaming. Like I can feel your joy. Interesting. All right, let's bring in the major arcanas. Again, everything is pre-shuffled. But for those who are new, I just want you to know that first of all, welcome to the soul family. But I want to let you know that, you may think, gee, she doesn't take much time to shuffle. I spend like 15 to 20 minutes before every reading, just shuffling what decks that I'm going to use. All right, so major arcanas from the beautiful Libras. It's funny, I'm saying May, but I was on my work Facebook earlier. Actually, I was putting Leo's reading there, and I saw from my memories it had a reading that was a year old. So I republished it just on Facebook. I didn't republish it, but um, because I just want to see I want to see how it resonates with people today versus a year ago. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because I've been a big believer for a long time that these readings, though I have to put a date on them, I mean, I don't have to, um, but many of you prefer that. Um, but I feel like a reading will find you, or you'll find it in its divine timing. So, right when you're meant to hear it, or you'll come across it again, and you'll be like, oh, I think I remember. And then things start happening in your life. You're like, oh, I think I remember that in the reading. I would definitely revisit it. And that's why I'm saying that they truly are timeless, but we are putting May on it. All right, we have the Hierophant, Heart of Taurus. The Hierophant is about your belief system, your faith. We have faith from Mother Mary. I always feel like this Hierophant is about to cast a blessing over you and probably over a particular part of your life. Well, hello, Temperance. Hello, Divine Timing. Interesting. So, Temperance's first message is patience. Patience, my child, patience. Wait for this blessing to come in. It'll be worth it. You know, the Hierophant's the number 5. So it does speak about a change. But how beautiful that the change is now moving into divine energy. And that's Temperance's second message is to trust in divine timing. You know, she's mixing loving waters, 2 cups. It may represent love, may represent more than that, though. It probably does. I just have a feeling it does. But I also feel like there's a special blessing coming your way. Chances are, like, you've earned it. You know what I mean? Like, it's good karma. But it's coming of the light. All right. Keep going. I like to get like 3 to 4 of these out. Sometimes we get much more. But I'm shooting for 3 to 4. My spiritual team. That's when they send out more. Okay, I'll take 5. All right, with the Hangman. So, I was going to say Mother Mary, but Temperance. Oh, I just got an emergency alert on my phone. National Weather Service, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for this area until 6:15. Destructive 80-mile-per-hour winds. Take shelter in a sturdy building away from windows. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Interesting. Fingers crossed, because I don't hear or see a storm. Anyway, Hangman. Strength card. Carleo. And then, hello, beautiful wheel. Your destiny. Sure. I love that when you have Temperance in the mix. Because, again, Temperance is asking for your patience. The Hangman kind of feels like, but I'm ready. I want to go. I want to go. He's swaying towards the Strength card. Strength card, it's interesting. I just literally did Leo's reading. So some of you may be connected to Leo. But the Strength card really is about looking, really looking within oneself, knowing oneself. It's that balance within. And because you do that, it really gives you this sense of courage. And nobody can take that away from you. There's certain elements as you walk along this journey that you gain that nobody can ever take away. Your spiritual wisdom. Once you have it, right? Your own truth. Once you know it, you know it. So, something is destined to happen, yet we know that it's in its destined time. The Hangman kind of like, the Hangman really is seeking spiritual wisdom, but to use on this earthly plane. And it's almost like divine is saying, it's important to go within. It's important to know who you are, like maybe in different areas of your life, because maybe what's coming in is something where, you might need to be a little bold. Okay, let's bring in the main spread. Give him a cut. Only thing about these cards, I really do love them. They're just big. Like, they're big. They're almost too big for my little hands. All right. We have the Queen of Wands. It's funny, that's exact card Leo got in the exact position. We have the Lovers under Temperance. We have the King of Fire. Interesting, we have the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands, with the Lovers in between. We have beautiful, the Empress. Well, even more reason to truly know oneself, right? Because the Empress, she's very honest with herself. Um, I love the Empress's energy, and I feel like this is an energy we all carry. It doesn't mean it naturally comes out, but I feel like as we mature, as we go through different experiences, this is someone who's very creative, someone who definitely receives a lot of epiphanies, has learned to really trust in her spiritual team. Like if I receive an epiphany and it feels like it's coming from my spiritual team, well, then I'm going to use it. I'm going to explore it. This is also someone who's very loving, very nurturing, but also very powerful, very strong. Like, I feel like this is you, male or female, by the way, really like knowing yourself. And I feel this sense of, like, I feel proud of you. Five of Cups, interesting. Five of Cups, disappointment, regret, forgiveness. Five of Cups, well, it literally looks like she's crying over spilt milk. You know, that's taking it lightly, but that's the way the image looks. But why would they do that though? Because that sounds kind of mean in a way. Well, because there's two cups that this person doesn't even know about yet. I have a feeling it's the lovers, but they don't know about it yet. Five of Cups, five, change. What type of change, let's say, is your spiritual team asking for? It's asking you to ask yourself, what am I focusing on? Am I focusing on the cups that have been knocked over? Have I given up? Have I given up hope? Don't give up hope. That's, really, don't give up hope. And by the way, I do not feel that the Empress and the Five of Cups can live in the same energy unless the Empress is representing like a single mom here. I mean, I don't know. We have a king and a queen with the lovers right in between. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. All right, well, let's keep going. Just in case I get a bad storm. All right. King of Pentacles. Mirroring the Hierophant could certainly be a Taurus. Doesn't have to be, though. Look at this. The Queen and the King of Pentacles side by side. side by side. Wise counsel. That's a Hierophant. Under the king, next to this queen, we have balance. This is justice. Card of Libra. That's your card. Compromise, self-control, moderation. And then we have the moon. Card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. A lot of feminine energy on the board. Well, I shouldn't have said that because we also do have masculine energy. I find it interesting that we have two couples here, and they're all around the lovers. So this may speak to different people. Some people feel like they really need signs, like the sign of the person. So we have Earth down here, which can be Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. We have fire here, could be Leo, which some of you, I feel like you must be connected to a Leo, so because I see the synchronicities. But anyways, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. God, like I couldn't remember. So it's interesting that justice is coming under the Empress. Because the Empress is usually pretty balanced. I'm not going to say she doesn't have off days, but normally she's pretty balanced. But I have a feeling because justice is mirroring the strength card, I feel like it's more you. Well, I do feel like you're the Empress, but I feel like this is like the things that you've overcome. The elements you've cut out of your life that probably just aren't serving you any longer. Maybe even where you've had your focus. Maybe you decided, you know what? I'm going to start focusing on the present and the future. Keep in mind that, you really are the writer of your life. You're working hand in hand with divine to create this lifetime. And this lifetime is short. And I think I'm saying that because I don't want to give the wrong people power over this life. This is your pen. This is your chapter, your book. Okay, well, we're going to look at both. I was going to pick up the bottom of the deck, but look what's there. The star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Inspiration, fulfillment, faith. Faith. But this is really what's at the bottom. Okay, well, Six of Wands, victory. Success, recognition, self-esteem. I'm just trying to see, like, who is someone crying over? Because it feels like, really, if I'm crying over someone, or if my focus is still on someone, but this energy of where my focus is at is not, it's not going to help. Like, it won't help manifest, let's put it that way. Because in a way, it's, I get it. It is sadness. Something didn't go right. Um, but I have to tell you, sometimes, just sometimes, things don't go right because maybe it was the end of that. Maybe it was meant to end. Maybe this new chapter is meant to open. Divine is opening up this chapter. The wheel, it is your destiny. The Empress is connected to that. I just want you to consider it. All right, let's bring out the Gilded Tarot. And let's go over this. Let's figure out who these people are. I mean, they're coming as couples. And they're all sharing the lovers. How interesting. And the lovers is right under temperance, divine timing. And the Hierophant is like blessing divine timing. All mirroring your will. Honestly, if we could just get rid of that Five of Cups, the rest would be really quite beautiful. So, I'm hoping, if nothing else, this reading helps those who are in the Five of Cups to refocus their mind. Now, let's say you have a hard time, like how do we just get over love that didn't go right? Honestly, I have to tell you, this is what my guides put in my mind. Go into your creative outlets. Like refocus your mind. Sometimes I can't have what I want, but that doesn't mean what's on the horizon might be so much better. Might be. It's interesting how I'm handling you with like kid gloves today. All right. Make sure my deck's in the upright. My God. Hello, Knight of Cups. Unexpected couple fulfillment coming right over the Queen with the Hierophant's blessing. And it's heading right to the lovers. This is unexpected. So I don't feel like it has anything to do with the energy of the Five of Cups. It may have something to do with these two cups that have yet to be discovered. But here it comes. This is a couple fulfillment. It doesn't have to be love. It can be love and other things. You know what I mean? A night doesn't have to just bring in one thing, but this is an unexpected couple fulfillment. What does Mother Mary, her very first card to you? Joy. Joy and faith. And then we get faith. Hmm. 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 All right, we're going to take them the way they came out. And these ones were first. We have the Page of Wands, my little risk taker, over the lovers. He's looking right back at that night. We have the Seven of Wands over the King of Wands with the Hangman above him. All right. And then we have the beautiful Chariot, card of Cancer. Uh-oh. My light just up. Okay, I think it should still, my light just went out. And I do not want that on. Okay. Hopefully we're still good. I should be able to record without internet. My internet went up. Anyway, Chariot, unlimited potential. Where do you want to go today? It's like the vehicle to take you to unlimited like to uncharted lands, to adventure. The chariot does need balance, and you have balance. Interesting. I just realized that you have balance right below it. The balance is of the feminine and the masculine within ourselves, the light and the dark. If we ourselves are not balanced, well, it's coming over the Empress, who, I'm not going to say she's perfect. I'm not going to say everything in her life is going well, but she's got so much more control over her life. She knows who she is. And, she understands energy. So if anything negative it comes into her energy force, she'll pick it up. She'll pick it up before it even gets a chance to enter her energetic force. So, anyways, the chariot really represents unlimited potential here. It's interesting that the King of Wands has a Seven of Wands over that. Seven of Wands can certainly be defending of one's actions. But the Hangman is kind of like, I feel like telling this king, slow down, stop fighting. Maybe this king, I feel like if this king really looks within, there is this ability to help others. So maybe there's a little, I don't know the word I want to use. I feel like this king's spiritual team has reached him or her. And I feel a couple different things. I feel this king had to find a sense of calmness within themselves. This could have been someone who was definitely ego led, led with their ego. But I feel like they have learned that they didn't get them far. There does seem to be a change, but I feel like it's their spiritual team that's helping them change. It's not us. So it's not us meant to help fix someone. Okay, let's keep going. You know, there could be a tornado outside, but I am so into your reading that I would just have to be swept away. All right, we have the Six of Pentacles over the Five of Cups. And then we have the Ten of Wands over the King. Let me go back real quick. Six of Pentacles over the Five of Cups. I feel like you could simply ask yourself a question here. Were you with someone or a relationship where it wasn't balanced? This is normally the energy of someone who's very compassionate, which is you. Someone who's very empathetic, which is you, right? You do care about what's fair and just in the world. That's why you have the Justice card. But what I feel is that there was an imbalance. You may have given and given and given, and it doesn't feel like you received, let's just say, in equal numbers. So, you may have shut your heart down for a little while, and that is definitely your prerogative. But that's not going to stop this knight from coming in. It may stop you from saying yes, but it's not going to stop it. This knight is being sent from divine. Then we have the Ten of Wands over this king. Ten of Wands is a lot of responsibility. Heavy responsibilities. Backbreaking. Almost too much. When I see the Ten of Wands, I feel like secretly or subconsciously, someone's like, let a tower come in. This could be energy that they themselves didn't want to end. or maybe didn't find the way. So I feel like divine will help with that. Okay, well, let's keep going. I feel like you are being asked to take a chance and just know whatever this night is bringing in. Number one, again, Mother Mary is saying that ultimately you're going to be in a state of joy. Do you feel like you have to allow yourself? You know, it's like this night comes in, and let's say you're in that Five of Cups, you're in this like sad, don't want anything to do with love unless it's one person. But it feels like divine is like, oh, there goes lights again. Dang it. Oh, they're back on again. This is going to be a weird reading. All right, let's keep going. Hopefully, this reading turns out okay because I can feel it. All right, we have the Eight of Cups. That is emotional clarity. That is someone who was brave enough to look within their emotional self and find emotional clarity. The person in the Eight of Cups, first of all, it's an eight, so it's like allowing oneself to have a new beginning. It is of an emotional nature. But this person really is moving towards inner harmony. And inner harmony is the Nine of Cups. That's also fulfillment of wishes. Eight of Swords, ever wise counsel. Dang it. Come on, lights. Dang it. There they are. Oh my gosh. Look at the lights changing in the room. This is a wild reading, Aquarius. Or Aquarius. What the hell? Sorry. Libra. Ah, Six of Swords. I think I'm going to have to pause this reading. Oh, I can hear the rain now. Hi, Libra. So, I did half of your reading and then we got hit by a tornado. You'll see it in the reading where the lights kept going off and then boom, it went off for good. 5 days without electricity. It was, well, it really wasn't that bad. I shouldn't say that, but um, thank God it's back. And I left your spread exactly as it was when I started your reading, and I didn't touch anything. I thought, let's just continue with this reading because I felt like this reading was really talking um, very clearly. So I just want to pick it up. I'll splice them together, but I'm sorry, you had to wait so long for your reading. So, anyways, now that I have fresh eyes, I am picking up on a few different things. First of all, what I'm really noticing is, let me bring this lid down, is synchronicities. Like I'm seeing these two eights together, and they're completely different energy. One, the Eight of Cups. This is the energy of someone who has, it's coming over the Queen of Pentacles. Um, has really looked within their emotional house and has cleared it because this person is heading towards the Nine of Cups. And I already spoke about this, but it's Nine of Cups is inner fulfillment, and it is fulfillment of wishes also. But then you have the Eight of Swords. So two eights back to back, and I have a feeling it's two different people because over here we have the King and Queen of Pentacles. We have the Queen and King of Wands. We have the Lovers in between. So we'll see who shares what. So I noticed that this is someone who may be a little fearful of change. Um, it is coming over the Hierophant though, so I feel like it's asking for you to just truly believe in yourself, to know that things can work out in the long run. You know, what I do remember the most about the reading is we have someone over here who is in what feels like a sad state, probably missing someone. But then we go to the other end and we have the Queen of Wands, but we have the Knight of Cups, so we have a couple fulfillment coming in, and it makes sense with the Eight of Cups here, right? Because I often feel like once we clear like our emotional self, and maybe what this is also saying is even like our mental thoughts, who's ever in the Eight of Swords, it's usually based out of fear. But it's pretty clear why, the energy is here. But then we have the Six of Swords. And what I'm noticing again with fresh eyes is we have two, let's call vehicles. Six of Swords, she's in a boat. She's leaving toxicity behind. She's moving to clear, calmer waters. The Chariot. The Chariot is moved by your intentions, unlimited potential. And the Eight of Swords is coming over your major arcana. That's right, balance, justice, actually. And the Chariot is coming over the Empress. Well, the Empress can soar at whatever she chooses. But anyway, so I even left, like, I touched nothing. So let's continue moving forward here. So we have the Six of Swords is where we left off. And that means that someone's had the realization that something has just been toxic. Something just is not working out. It can relate back to that Five of Cups. Even the Five of Cups having the Six of Pentacles over that, it can talk about something that was unbalanced. And Libra, you need balance in your life. So if something was unbalanced, especially with the Six of Pentacles, that's that fine art of give and take. This could talk about, maybe someone that you were with where, you were giving, but you weren't receiving, because then we go into the Ten of Wands, and that is like carrying the brunt of the responsibility. So interesting. So look at this. We have the Lovers, and I promise you, I touched nothing for five. I didn't even come in my office. So look at this, the Lovers. And we have the Lovers right here. So we have two Lovers. And by the way, Lovers is mirroring your will, your destiny. It's interesting. I love this image because I feel like it's very clear where you can see the feminine's energy, right? That means like she's in current energy. You can see the masculine behind her, and it's like he hasn't reached her yet, but she's feeling it. Maybe she doesn't know why. It's coming over the moon. Card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. I probably already said that. I was going to go back and watch the reading, the part that I already did, and I thought, no, I just want to have fresh eyes. But now we have two Lovers. We have the Wheel. Lovers coming over the moon. For some of you, can certainly represent a Pisces, or Cancer is ruled by the moon. And then we have the Two of Swords. Interesting. What makes the first thing I feel is because the Hierophant is mirroring the Wheel. So it's asking you to have faith in divine timing, in destiny, in what is destined for you. And then Temperance actually being there, which is all about divine timing. And remember, I think I probably said this, but she's mixing the loving waters of two cups. Well, now we have two lovers. We do have the hangman, but the hangman with the eight of swords mirroring it would make sense. But I don't feel like someone wants to stay in this energy because the hangman is swaying towards the strength card. So, that's looking within oneself. And then it's like, then I have these true realizations. I feel like the two swords, I feel like that's our humanness. Like, yes, sometimes we get scared of new love. Let's not forget we have the Knight of Cups coming in, an unexpected cup of fulfillment. You have success on the bottom of the deck. Oh, that's right. And you have the star underneath that, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. So, actually, I want to take the two swords down here because I want to go right below this. Look at this. These cards have been in one place for 5 days. All right. Now that makes even more sense. The two swords mirroring the Knight of Cups. So that Knight of Cups, I feel like this cup of fulfillment, it comes in no matter what, whether I want it or I don't want it. But I have the decision, to decide. We have the King of Cups. We have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is the energy of celebration. It asks you to rejoice in celebration. It's the energy of joy. And how interesting that the Eight of Swords is above it. Again, coming over the Hierophant, mirrored by the Hangman. Hmm. I get the feeling some of you may have left this King of Cups. And by the way, I don't know if I really am looking at their sign, so to speak. If I was, that would be Cancer. We do have Cancer, and Cancer's ruler. Scorpio. Why can't I think of the water? Oh my gosh. And Pisces. Holy cow. And we have Pisces. We don't have Scorpio, but but with the Eight of Cups above this King, it does look like someone's walking away. Interesting because the person in the Eight of Swords is looking right at the lovers. And the Page of Wands coming over the lovers, my little risk taker. I feel like if I allow myself, well, I think we have to start at the Five of Cups. If I take my focus off the past, if I take my focus off the things that didn't work out, and maybe I just understand that, you know, again, not all things are meant to work out. Like some relationships are meant to end. They may be getting you ready for something better. So I feel like someone must free themselves. I feel like someone is walking away, whether that just be mentally, like I'm done. But I do feel that energy of like I'm done. Maybe I'm done crying over someone. And it doesn't even have to mean I'm open to like new love or I'm looking for new love, but I feel like some of you are done. And I feel like that's probably the best thing. All right, but let's keep going. I may end up doing another reading for you. Um, we'll see. I'm kind of behind right now, but I don't know. I just might. All right, we have the Hermit. So the Hermit, number one, card of Virgo. This is about spirituality. We're in the year of the Hermit. Listen, this may be a sign like that we're in the year of the Hermit, and that means that we're meant to reflect. What do we want to bring along for the next 9 years? What don't we? How do I want the next 9 years to look? And I love the Six of Swords attached to that because, chances are when you see the Hermit, it can talk about going through the dark night of the soul. But because the the Six of Swords is right above it, you're moving out of that energy. And so is the Hermit, because the Hermit is now shining the beacon of light outwardly. So it's like you have gained some wisdom and you may be sharing that wisdom. Well, there you go. Hello, Nine of Cups. Beautiful. Over the moon and the lovers. Some of you may become single. Maybe some of you weren't even attached to someone, but your heart, like, that's where my heart was. But I feel like not anymore. Or at least you're considering that. Because you're moving into, and I love the Hermit is illuminating this Nine of Cups for you. Almost like telling you, or advising you, that you can have this inner harmony. You can have wishes come true. But you do need to know, like, what is it I want? And, is it attainable? I could want someone in the Five of Cups, but that doesn't always mean I'm going to get it. And because it's a five, it does talk about change. And then we have the moon again. So, well, I was going to say double Pisces, double Cancer, but actually there's a lot more. I think there's 3 Cancers on the board. We'll put that right there. So it looks to me like, like you've been on this journey. We open up the reading with the Hierophant, which is a 5. So it is about change. But the Hierophant, I feel like, and I probably said this, I feel like is blessing you. Maybe because you're willing to make whatever changes are necessary, but it's also mirroring your will, your destiny. And then divine timing, like Temperance, divine timing is in play. Well, probably in your love life. The Hangman, it's almost like Temperance is saying, hang on, you move too fast. So I just feel like some of you are overcoming like an old love, and this feels like it's trying to get you ready for a new love. We have 2 lovers now, 2 lover cards. Even where I laid the moon is mirroring the lovers, and the lovers here is over the moon. But also the Nine of Cups, you know what it feels like to me? It feels like I freed myself. I'm finding this inner harmony. It doesn't, like in the Nine of Cups, I don't feel like I'm like actively looking for love, but love is coming in the door nonetheless. And I guess, some are going to accept that, and some may stay in that Five of Cups energy. I hope not. Um, because I really believe this is the year to truly be honest with yourself. Like, what, you know, what is serving me? What is not? What is keeping me down? What's keeping me in a sad state? Is that the way it's supposed to be? Is there more? Is there better? Well, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. And even the wheel that's right above that Five of Cups, some may say, well, maybe that person's destiny. Well, in the Five of Cups, the person is focusing on what they've lost, yet there's 2 cups that they don't know about. And now we have the Lovers right below that, and the Lovers in the same line as the Five of Cups. It's like the perfect day to fall in love, especially if you've cleared a lot of this energy, which is Six of Swords really is talking about, right? And listen, the Six of Swords can temporarily be difficult energy. It's hard to change, or it's hard to say, okay, I'm not going to wait for someone, or, whatever it may be. Again, it can be like my mind, my thoughts, but this is you leaving it in the past. And I love that the Hermit's underneath that, because I feel like it's your spirituality that's opening up. And that's what's producing the Nine of Cups, that inner harmony and fulfillment of wishes. And if we look at the very last card with the very first card, the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Cups, wow, and the Lover's right above it. I have a feeling, though, the Nine of Cups, I often feel is singular, like I'm alone in that. I mean, you got family in that, but this is a very happy energy. It doesn't mean everything is going perfect in my life, but I have inner harmony, and I feel like that's important for you. Um, you know, and again, I want you to think about your major arcana justice. It is about balance. Like when you feel balanced, your world feels balanced. Your world feels better. When you feel unbalanced, well, so does the world. But you have the power to really create that balance. Okay. What do I want to do here? I think what I want to do is I want to look at the Knight of Cups, because we have a lot of people on the board, but they seem to be connected, like each one of them. And again, don't even think about their signs, like the Queen and the King, in between them is the Lovers. And this is of Wands. The Queen and King of Pentacles, they're right together. But then you have the King of Cups underneath this Queen, but with this Queen walking away. So that's why I kind of feel like, and again, I'm not thinking like it has to be a water sign. I just feel like emotionally, I'm walking away emotionally. I'm looking for emotional clarity, and you're finding it. So let's see what else this night. Look at this. The Nine of Swords. That's worry, my friends. The meaning of the card is unnecessary worry. Unnecessary worry. It's another nine, by the way. I feel like we really have to take this year seriously, because we're moving into the year of the magician, the manifester. But I never think that we have to wait, right? I feel like here comes this night. There's a little worry. I get it. But I also want to remind you that it talks about unnecessary worry. I have a feeling it's a little bit of that Two of Swords, too. We have the Six of Wands, and look at this, the Fool. So you're getting over that worry. The Fool means you're willing to take a chance. And the Page of Wands right over the Lovers, who I often call my Fool, I call my risk taker. Mainly because I feel like this is someone who does take chances. Interesting, I just realized the Page of Wands between the King and the Queen of Wands. So now we have the energy of victory and the energy of the Fool. I feel like victory is really talking about the things that you were able to let go of. And some of you, I don't know why I feel this in the Six of Wands, but I feel like many may have like a platform And you may speak about like how you overcame something very difficult. How did you do it? And then jumping into the fool's energy. So that does mean a new beginning. It is about taking a leap of faith. And yes, there's worry. But again, this is something that you can definitely overcome because that's the meaning of it. Unnecessary worry. So this night's coming, period. And I feel like some of you're going to say yes. It doesn't have to, what we got to remember is it doesn't mean like you're automatically falling in love. Maybe you're just going on a date. Maybe you're just going to give someone a chance. But the Fool to me is answering a question of will they or won't they? And I feel like you will. All right. So let's come down. I don't even know what I want to look at. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm just going to take some cards right across the whole spread. Oh my gosh. Hello, Two of Cups. And by the way, what was Temperance doing? Mixing the loving waters of the soulmates. This is soulmates. And I love this image because they're looking eye to eye. To me, that means that they're on the same vibrational level. They understand each other, probably like no one before. This feels pretty special. Okay. And then, okay. I felt like we had another card, but we don't. So let's follow that a little. We have the Page of Swords. We have Hello World, the next chapter. That answers a question. So in the Five of Cups, where some are focusing on the past, is, is this meant to move forward? Well, I feel like with the World here, this is the next chapter. And I don't feel like, I feel like what we found are these two cups. Here they are. So someone must have changed their focus. Someone is like maybe allowing a little bit more. And maybe a little bit more every day. We have the Page of Swords in between the soulmates and the world, the next chapter. When the world and the hermit are in the same reading, I feel like it's a very, very spiritual time. I feel like it's when you are trusting within your spirituality to lead you. I feel like this Page of Swords is some type of communication. And then we have the Hierophant again. So double Taurus on the board, but this is about your faith. This is about your belief. You know what I feel like? I feel like what this is saying is you're meeting someone who is much more like you. You're meeting someone where I feel like your morals are very closely aligned. Your faith. Um, I feel like this is definitely talking about this love, the lovers, or not the lovers, the Two of Cups, the soulmates, in the light of a higher vibrational energy, following the world. That's kind of beautiful. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring out the clarifying love situations. give them a cut. All right. We want to take them exactly as they came out because each side has a message. So, transformational. Through learning, through learning, shift your perspective and evolve beyond limits. Through learning, shift your perspective and evolve beyond limits. It's kind of what the chariot speaks about, unlimited potential. But we want to remember that chariot is moved by our intentions. Okay, we have consumed, extinguished doubt by having open communication. I feel like that addresses the Nine of Swords. That is connected to this Knight of Cups. Open communication, extinguished doubt, and then, open hearts. In vulnerability, we talk and reveal, forging deeper connections through honesty. Well, with two Hierophants here, I definitely feel, it just feels like a higher vibrational energy. It feels like you're meeting someone of a higher vibrational energy. Which to me means that, if you can recognize yourself in the Five of Cups, then I feel like it means that you have changed that energy, that you're no longer focusing on, the cups that have fallen over. You are starting to look forward again. And I feel like, that opens everything up for you. It's almost like we don't need the romance angels because we have two lovers and the soulmates. But let's bring them out anyway. By the way, let's also remember Mother Mary says joy. Three of Cups, joy. Faith, the Hierophant, faith. We have it twice. So Mother Mary's messages are fitting perfectly with your reading. Even under that Six of Wands, again, the star. Oh, look underneath that, the Page of Swords. Well, it is the Page of Swords that was right between the soulmates and the next chapter, the world. So it all fits. Okay, I'm going to take them. It just felt like the one. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Work on your partnership. Release your ex. Wow. That has to be speaking to who's ever in the Five of Cups. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. She doesn't look happy about it. She may be the one who received, she's holding a letter, like she could have gotten a Dear John letter, so to speak, Dear Jane. But at the same time, I guess because I've been not just reading tarot, but connecting with my guides for so long now, I know that not all relationships are meant to last. Some are like stepping stones. It's like as we evolve, so does love. As we evolve, so does our money, right? I don't know. I just feel like if we go back down to this Nine of Cups, and remembering that it's mirroring that Knight of Cups, that unexpected couple fulfillment, well, you may be single in this energy. So that may be what a perfect time is. Again, that Nine of Cups is mirroring the wheel. So you're meant to be in this energy. Is this just a love reading? I don't think so. I feel like really it's a message of learning, like, to evaluate our lives. Like what is working, what's taking advantage of me, who's taking advantage of me. If someone is like ghosting you, let's say, it, are you going to accept that? We do maybe for a little while, but I feel like the day has to come where we got to say, I'm worth more than that. Like, I have to know my own worth. And with the soulmates connected to the world, I feel like whatever happens in the world energy, it has the potential to last the rest of your lives. And I'm saying lives because I feel like it's you and someone else. But it feels very special. And who knows? This could be predestined. And it may just be the perfect time. Temperance again up here, right next to the hangman. It's almost like temperance is putting you in this hangman state, right? It's not time yet, right? It's not time. But it may simply be that Five of Cups and some of the fear. Release your ex. I have a feeling for some of you, it just, look at the star card sticking out. Wow. It just feels like, well, I feel like you need to know your own value. As your guides value you, your guides want you to have love and be happy and not just love, but have a good life. But there are lessons, you know what I mean? And as we learn these lessons, we evolve. Well, that's what it feels like is happening here. You're evolving, and therefore, so is your love life. It's like goodbye to those who dishonored me in some way. And even if I'm not looking for love, it's still coming in. I just feel like it's a perfect day to fall in love. Celebration, joy, right back to Mother Mary. All right, Libra. I think I'm going to let that be. Um, Let me know what you think. I'm gonna see if I can splice this together through my editor. The two that I did, and if I can't, if it doesn't look right, then I'll put it out as two separate. Like I'll put part A and part B. Um, but interesting because I swear I touched nothing. I left everything exactly like it was the minute my electricity went off. And I have not stepped in my office since. Okay, I'm gonna let that be. I thank you. I love you. I thank you for your patience, truly. I know you were the last sign for the month of May, and I was doing your reading. I think it was on the 29th of April, and I was even proud of myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get all May's readings done in time. And then we had a tornado. We didn't suffer damage, just if anybody's worried, but we did lose like our electricity and everything. Um, had to throw out all our food, but so do many. I mean, it hit Pennsylvania, like a lot of different areas in Pennsylvania. Anyway, that was then. This is now. Electricity's back on. I'm back at my table. Can't wait to get the reading to you. But let me know what you think. Okay. And, if some of you feel like you want a new reading, then I will try to do another one. But I do have a lot of work I have to catch up on. But other than that, I thank you. I love you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.